And we're back. Game number 2 of our final best of 3 of the night, and a second place seed potentially on the line. Vici, though, they got to get their act together in a hurry because IG seemed to have the tonic they needed to put them to bed in very fast fashion in game 1. Vici opens up with Vici and Clockwork. We see IG snag up the Alchemist and the Rubik to break down the draft and lend all of the insight and analysis as he has throughout the entire season. Welcome in once again, Ben Merlini Wu. And Ben, I mean, we kind of covered it, but really there wasn't that much to cover. IG just ran over Vici, and there's not a whole lot of other ways to say it.
That was just plain out ownage. There is no other way to put it.
It was downright mean is what it was. And, like, honestly, one of the most dominant performances we've seen. They, by the time, what was it, 27-5? Something like that by the time it was over. And only, here in the East, we've had some very quick matches in the West, make no mistake. And that's owed to a number of factors. Play style certainly a part of it. The dominance of teams like a Na'Vi and Alliance certainly a part of it. But just as much a part of it is, teams, there being a clear tier of teams that are developing. Dignitas among those Mouse Sports with their new squad, etc. But here in the East, the majority of these teams are very well established, or at the very least, their players are very well established, even if they are still adjusting to playing with each other in the post-2013 international shuffle. But really, Invictus just made Vici look like a pub. And, I don't say that to be insulting to them, more as to be admire IG. And they just had great play out of every position. And they're going to look to repeat that here in Game 2.
Yep, first pick Alchemist is not typical of 6.79. Usually you want to grab a very nice support. So in IG's draft, I think a little bit weaker than Vici's at this point in time. Going with a very early Kunkka pick, though, that is very interesting.
Kunkka's a hero that I've kind of been saying for a while. I feel like has a lot more room to be played by pretty much every team that likes to fight early. Like, it seems like a perfect pick for, like, LGD is a good example.
5 seconds
Perfect pick for teams like Na'Vi is another example, though not really a Dindy hero, so where you put him becomes a bit of an issue in that situation. But anyway, I love what they're doing right now. This is a hero who doesn't need a whole lot more than level 6 to feel ultra effective. Even to the 20-25 minute range. Clockwork, once he hits 6, if he has even a modicum of farm, he can feel pretty effective just landing hooks. And Kunkka, of course, in conjunction with the Clockwork, if you're able to cog in 1 or 2 heroes, the boat essentially guaranteed to land. We saw just how effective a Kunkka pick can be in forcing fights, as LGD used in a great effect in their series just an hour or so ago. Using X-Torrent to initiate fights, using the boat to not only keep his own team alive, but to work with heroes like a Clockwork. So this is a very aggressive front 3 coming out of Vici. While Invictus, really, we'll see where the Alchemist goes. Could be a mid-Alchemist, I suppose, but this is going to be a lineup that needs farm with that Lone Druid 3rd pick.
10 seconds.
Yeah, it might just be like the snowbally sort of lineup that they're looking for, like last game, because Vici still doesn't have that good anti-push. And I said they should draft one last game, they didn't. I said they should draft one this game, and they might not too. Invictus could just run with a Chen and just completely roll them like it did before. I am slightly worried for them.
Yeah, the Bane pick up, it's kind of Hobson's choice, really. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, good call, my friend. Chen comes out in 4th position. That's exactly what I was going to say as well. It's like, okay, you see the Bane, you see the Lone Druid, you go, okay, I know a good hero to deal with him. We simply draft a Bane. He can enfeeble the Bear, Fiend's Grip the Druid, or vice versa. He has a decent pure damage burst early on, and he can roam very effectively early on, can work very well with a hero like Clockwork, and so on and so forth. But now Bane gives you 0 anti-push. He gives you no way to cope with the push potential coming out of Invictus.
They have to see that coming. Like, I mean, I've been out of competitive scene for so long, and it's just so obvious to me. Okay, Alchemist, Lone Druid, boom. I'm scared of push, and I'm scared of team fight happening early, and they don't pick team fight heroes. Like, Bane's nice to set up with Kunkka, but like, they need something better. They need, like, I don't know, Windrunner would be nice, Keeper Light, 6.78 if you don't have anything else, like Magnus if you have to, Windrunner, any of those would just be better. Or even an Enchantress to shut down the Chen. Like, any of these are better options than a Bane. And Bane's, like, nice, I guess, versus, like, a Lone Druid, but it's not enough.
Oh, well, so we'll have to see if that's going to be a farming Kunkka or if it's going to be a mid Kunkka. At this point, pretty tough to tell. And taking a look at the bans, they do still have Luna available to them if they want to go in that direction. Pretty much any carry they want. The Gyro is gone, and it's really smart. They're going to go with an Anti-Mage. That worries me.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
This is...
What? That's problematic.
What in the world?
Yeah,
they are just like... I don't know.
It makes no sense. It really doesn't. I guess maybe they're thinking they could split push with Visage Familiars plus Anti-Mage. Just don't bring the Familiars to the fight and let him resummon off of a cooldown if they need him at the fight. and let the familiars like split push with it. Like I'm reaching, dude. I'm trying to find a reason. You tell me.
That is reaching. I mean, I think they just hope they can delay until late game. They're just like hoping. Like if I were Vici right now, I don't feel confident at all like that I'm gonna make it into late game. Like if Invictus Gaming gets off to similar start to last game, they just lose in like 15 to 25 minutes. With like a very early and they have Tinker too. So like now they have the late game secured, and this is an unusual pick from IG, but I mean it's not bad by any means. Tinker is a pretty darn good hero. And looks like it'll be an offlane Tinker because YYF is playing it, and a solo mid Alchemist.
How are they gonna fight? Like, how are they going to be able to fight against IG? Alchemist, I mean, like you said, it will be YYF on the Tinker and Banana. Okay, so it'll be Hal obviously farming the Lone Druid. Ferrari will be taking the Alchemist mid, and I think that's what we expected. So, if he maxes Acid Spray, Tinker maxes March, then you have Chin Creeps and Lone Druid, even if he doesn't even farm that well. Just the bear with Demolish. I mean, how do you fight them? And look at it. And here's the other thing about their lineup. What are their damage dealers? They're melee. They've got Clockwork, Kunkka, and Animage who need to get into melee range against these heroes to do anything. They're against the Lone Druid. They're against the Tinker who can laser them and guarantee a miss percentage. Like, this is just as problematic a draft as I think we've seen in the entire Eastern Division.
This is scary. Well, I mean, they do have late game. If Anti-Mage gets out to a good start, and if they can keep down the Tinker, I guess they have like a decent lineup. And Clockwork is pretty good versus Tinker too, so they can pick him off. But still, like Vici's draft, I would have to rate it like 3, 2.5 out of 10, maybe. It could be worse.
Yep.
Technically.
I really like IG's has got to be close to a 10. I mean, it's they opened up with an Alchemist and a Rubik pick, so they were wide open in terms of what they wanted to do. They could have farmed the Alchemist, they could have midded him, probably planning to mid him right off the bat. But then they just looked at what Vici showed them and like, okay, we can do this. That's fine. And like you said, whenever you see the Bane come out in the face of a Lone Druid, we just go, that's fine. We'll just try to walk over you. Now, Vici is still a very good team, and as much as we're harping about their draft, I mean, they do have some things going for them. They can roam very effectively. They do have a nice way to deal with the Bear and the Bane. They do have some reach and some really nice initiation potential. It's this Anti-Mage pick on Siler that just really gives me pause. I just don't know what they're going to be able to do because when you're up, hold on, there's a Nightmare that's going to be onto Banana, and it's taken off by FaZe standing in the trees, and Banana's probably going to be, yep, no doubt about it. He dodged that Torrent because of that steal of the Nightmare. Very well played by Faith, preventing an early first blood.
Well played by him, indeed.
But you see an Anti-Mage, like this looks like a draft where it was an Anti-Mage that came out too early, and IG said, that's fine, we're just going to run you over because you have Anti-Mage. But VG last picked the Anti-Mage into this lineup.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Alrighty, looks like the pause happened, but brief at the very least. We'll run through our lineups as the laning phase takes shape. We're going to have Faith running on our Grand Magus the Rubik. We're going to have Ferrari, as mentioned, taking the Alchemist down mid lane. The Tinker will be played by YYF, who was phenomenal in Game 1 and really held his own in a very similar situation. And a little bit different on a Tinker, but we'll see if VG can deal with him a little bit more effectively. Banana will be playing on our Chin, and the Lone Druid going to be farmed up by Hal. Other side of the river, we've got ROTK, who struggled so very much in the offlane in Game 1. He's going to look for a bounce-back performance here in Game 2 on the Clockwork. Fenrir will be playing on the Visage. Kunkka going to be taken mid by Super. And this is very much a superhero, I do feel. So if he can get off to a good start, we'll see if that's going to be enough to keep VG hanging around all of that aggression that we expect out of IG. FY will be playing on the Bane this time around. And Siler, as one would imagine, going to be farming up the Anti-Mage. He better farm quick.
That DD will certainly help him out. Looking at this early game, looks like relatively passive from both teams, but I expect IG to just go into a very explosive mid game and just sweep all the towers with Chen and Lone Druid and then get map control. That should be their plan, and they also need to secure farm on YYF if possible. They need his BOTs up as ASAP, and they have high mobility with them. They can TP him to the Lone Druid Bear, they can TP him to Chen Creeps, and he can just dominate the map if he's farmed.
Well, that's something important to mention too. This Tinker pick, it gives you everything we've already talked about, but it also gives you the ability to react to any split push VG wants to try to get going with the Anti-Mage. I mean, there will come a point where Anti-Mage will be a threat. I mean, unless the game's just over way too fast, and looks like they want to get off to a start that might allow that to happen, as Faith and Banana are already under cover of smoke, looking to make something happen on Super. And are they going to shove the wave? Ferrari's got a big wave coming. They're looping around behind. Faith is right there, and yep, here we go. They're going to go for it. Unstable Concoction will have to lead things off. It's the only thing in range. Centaur taking tower damage. Can they get the stomp off? They do. First blood. Gonna go to IG. Not what you need out of Kunkka. Kunkka's the one hero who can fight as early and often as IG's likely to want to fight, and you're losing levels on him right from the beginning.
Things are just not looking well for them in the early game. They really do ride on Super to just kind of control the mid game for them, and oftentimes it is on a hero like Storm Spirit, and Kunkka is just more difficult to snowball with, which means he needs a better start. Unless you're Xiao Wei, but I haven't actually seen Super's Kunkka recently.
Siler getting the farm he wants, he and the Lone Druid both, so it is going to be a free farm, 13 to 13 CS. And staying right on top of each other. Obviously, the early mid advantage goes to Ferrari. He's honestly, he's not that much further ahead in terms of experience. It's about half a level, give or take. But, you know, the Lone Druid as well is a decent answer for Anti-Mage come late game. You know, obviously having 12 item slots instead of 6 makes you a bit more of a threat as the game goes ultra late. But just having the Entangle go through BKB and give you a chance to lock down an Anti-Mage if you're lucky to get either a Lucky Entangle or a Lucky Bash, that's another whole nother complication and another nice way that this IG composition is going to match up against VG come late game.
They have a smoke on FY. He is just trying to zone out Tinker though. Just meanwhile in the back blocking, he has boost of speed, but it's going to be pretty delayed boost of travel. It looks like Hao is doing very, very well on bottom. Tons of denies. 19-11 compared to CS at Clockwork's 5-0. So ROTK suffering very heavily in this lane.
Oh yeah. And ROTK, I mean, he just seemed off in game one, man. Like, he was missing timber chains and giving up kills. He was overextending here and there. It just wasn't the same ROTK that we've seen have so much success this game or this season. And sometimes you have, you know, the off lane is a very important role. It's when, you know, especially whenever you're running a traditional style. You know, we saw this kind of style really take a hit with 6.79, but these two teams certainly bringing it back. Super is going to have a little bit of help coming over. And that's going to be the Bane. He's actually just showing up to block those creeps up there. But either way, night comes 1-0. Only one kill tallied by 4 minutes.
Yeah, just passive. We see FY trying to move around and get something accomplished in this early game, though. And IG moving around as a support duo. Here it goes.
Rubik leading Banana. There's going to be a root up. Was onto a creep, fortunately for ROTK. And they're going to go for it. He's hanging out near the edge. There's the telekinesis. Can they toss them away, actually? So I guess not liking the way this looked like it was shaping up. And another rotation from Super. Super bringing the Bane with him as well. Banana couldn't win it.
Banana is so screwed. Spend your gold, buddy.
Yep. There you go. Brown boots and some wards and a dust. Or a smoke, rather, and a clarity. May as well. Yeah.
Might as well just make it 3 clarities.
Exactly. Yeah, he spent his gold, and in the meantime, the tower has been taking a beating. They got the tower down pretty deep. Now over here, YYF will end up dying. Faith does TP in and get the telekinesis off of the Fenrir, trying to body block him. He's got a Fade Bolt, gonna have to spin it and hope for the best. Oh, he got him. One last auto attack makes it a 1-for-1 trade.
Oh, yeah. It's not a bad start for Vici. Definitely not as bad as last game, but Ferrari going face boost to middle, so definitely not a farming build out for him. Surprised no early mech though, and definitely no Greebles Greed from him. Meanwhile on bottom, what is he going to go for? He has 1,300 gold. Is this what we think it is?
Radiance. I'm hoping. Rush the Radiance. He's gonna get a Midas. You know he is, man. Yeah, already. So it will be a Midas pickup for Hal. Hoping for the Radiance rush, though. It's okay, though, honestly. You get a Midas up this quick on a Lone Druid, you're not going to get AC griping at you. I'm all right with it, Hal. Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
There's Midas. There is. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting it this early, you're doing that well in your lane.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely okay. And I wonder if he's going to go with the Radiance build or not. Radiance build isn't particularly good against an anti-mage. I mean, it's nice to split push out lanes, but if you actually need a man fight and you man fights your bear, especially with Enfeeble up, then it's going to be very difficult. But, I mean, Enfeeble doesn't really affect Radiance damage too, so I'm torn. I think Radiance it depends on how your farm is, I suppose.
I like Radiance here because of, as we talked about, the push potential. I mean, imagine a quick Radiance comes out, you've got a Chin who's well-leveled, has a mech, and arc boots, and you're just begin pushing with that. I mean, how do you even begin to cope with that if you're in VG's shoes? I mean, obviously, it's not going to be a first item BKB rush on Siler, so he's going to even have trouble showing up even with his even with his spell shield. And Visage and Bane really aren't just going to be able to stand up to that at all, so you can zone them out. And, again, melee heroes, the 3 biggest damage dealers on their side. One would imagine, the 3 heroes that are going to need to be in close the most are melee. The Clockwork, the Kunkka, and the Anti-Mage. So we'll have to wait and see, though. There is the Midas picked up, so Hal gets it up right at 7 minutes.
Yep, and AM is farming even better than the Lone Druid. It's 47-17 compared to 45-15, so just slightly ahead. Checking Tinkered items, is he... yep, he has switched to mid. 900 gold on him. I'm not sure if he's going to go a Soul Ring and bottle before BOTs, but there is this lovely, lovely Ancient Stack that he can take out.
We see Ferrari swapping him out, heading to the off lane, just to allow him to catch up once his bot's up as soon as possible. ROTK needs to be... Oh, ROTK might be borked if Faith can get the jump on him. He actually is. Still hanging in the danger zone, I would say. Yep, Faith's got him. There's the telekinesis. Chin doesn't have a stun. Can they get a root? Drops the cogs. They're looking for a root. Nope, not going to get it. And running into the cogs. Tell you what, man. I hope somewhere...
Tower just getting straight up attacked.
Yeah, it's going to end up dropping. There's a glyph. Let's see if they want to react to it. Speaking of those cogs, every time I see a Clockwork played at any level, I really hope they change the hitbox on the cogs. It just does not look like you should run into them sometimes. I think we saw our Chin player run into that right there.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you could only get hit by 1 cog. That would be extremely, extremely nice. It just sucks like getting all your mana drained just for walking around it, and yeah, sometimes it is very, very wonky. Super picks up an Invis rune. Ferrari, meanwhile, with the haste, I don't actually know if they scout him out with it. They don't have a ward up there on the top rune.
Ferrari going to go ahead and dip back out, at least for the minute. Looks like he's going to make a run for the well. Go ahead and stay safe. More. Most of the movement we're seeing on IG here is just very patient. They're buying time for their Tinker and their Druid in particular to just get what they need to get. The Alchemist is going to pick up a Buckler, so he's going to be our mech carrier. No surprise there whatsoever. We're at 9 minutes in. We got 4 kills on the board, split right down the middle. But IG is beginning to open up that gold lead. A lot of that has to do with that Midas out on how those he's used it. Used it a couple of times. And, yep, able to pull back. So, very calm game 2 so far.
And Anti-Mage and Lone Druid absolutely competing for farm right now. But if he gets a Bastion stuff on a Spirit Bearer, it is just not looking good. But I think the biggest thing is if they ever get a Sheep and a Blink up on Tinker. That is talking about like 30 minutes into the game. But they do have the tools in order to shut down an Anti-Mage. And the pure damage from Laser, it just absolutely owns Anti-Mage. So he has a pretty low HP pool, often relying on the Mana Shield, or Spell Shield rather, to survive.
We're going to have a TP up the top. ROTK is level 6 now, has been for a little while as he's almost 7. And might go looking for a hook, recognizing Ferrari has taken up station in this top lane. He makes her a very appetizing target. We've got 4 from IG. They are playing so protective of Hal and YYF right now, just wanting to keep them safe, really wanting a couple of core items.
Yep, and I think this is okay by IG. Like, they're not under the same like kind of pressure that Vici was last game when they have like a solo offlane that is getting way too much. Like ROTK got pretty shut down pretty hard in the offlane, but he does only need levels, and we see Boots and Earnest Shadows on him, still peeking around on top, looking for a kill. Ferrari playing very, very safe, and IG's awareness has been just unreal these past 2 games.
They really have.
They just like dodged smoke ganks, and I think that was the biggest turning point of the game too, when they had that smoke gank with an infested Storm Spirit, and they just knew the gank was coming. They were all 5 there, immediate popping of the Invis rune, and just good awareness and good positioning.
Hook on the Faith here in mid. Here comes the boat. Torrent's there to follow it up. He will be cleaned up, but the counter initiation. No, Faith is alive. Manages to make it out off of the... Wow. Nightmare on ROTK, not enough to keep him alive. They're going to be able to track him down. Ferrari is just balling out at the moment, finds a kill with the rest of his team coming up behind him. He wants to re-engage, throws out the Unstable Concoction, FY sitting below half health. Torrent dodged by Ferrari there.
It looked like he was right on top of it.
Yeah.
Super's probably like, what was that Torrent? Faith needs the Leviathan blade, clearly.
Faith sent down, or sent back home, I should say. I can't believe he survived there. Such a missed opportunity for PG. They lose the clock, and clock definitely not in good shape. ROTK struggles continue, man.
Yeah, they just left just a tiny bit of damage, and IG just had enough damage. That last right click really finished him off from the Alchemist, and a definite good roll on the test of faith there.
2,500 gold in the bank of the Lone Druid. We'll talk about that in a minute. Ferrari, toss out the unstable concoction to Siler. Siler does complete his battle fury at a very good time, short of 12 minutes. So that's what they need out of him. They're going to need him to become relevant very, very quickly. And it looks like it will be the Radiance build coming out on the Lone Druid. He hasn't picked anything up. He's got 2,600 gold in the bank, so probably looking for his relic at about 1,200 gold.
Yeah, if you have unmitigated freeform like this, then you might as well. But in the meantime, we see Anti-Mage just farming away too. He has his Battle Fury, so it looks like IG is not scared to play the farm game. Their net worth is almost neck and neck right now, especially after they use this Midas. So 58.96 and 59.50. They are within 100 gold of each other.
IG across the board, though, beginning to open up a little bit of a gap. There's a definite upwards trend, even though the kills are as close as they are. They're at 1,500.
Travel, man.
Bots are up. And let's see if they want to smoke off of this. They do. 3-man smoke about to make a move down towards bottom. That's going to be on How and YYF. YYF going to show his face a little far forward here. He's got bots up. He may get killed here. Can they catch him?
Too fast, man. He has to be OT.
Look at Fenrir's damage. Fenrir just went from 100 to 40% off of just wading through that March of the Machines. And again, like,
he doesn't have Gravekeeper's cloak. What a man. That is a manly visit build. I think he may have misskilled because I've never seen a 2-3-0-1 build.
Well, either way, I think he's aware of it now. He may not have thought he was misskilling, but walking through that March, I'm sure he's rethinking his skill build now. And YYF going to continue to clean out these Ancients, but how are they going to fight? Seriously, Alchemist now has max level Acid Spray, Tinker, max March of the Machines with max Laser to deal with nice single target burst. And Chen's going to be there to give them sustain with Hand of God. The mech's going to be done on Ferrari.
Though.
Yep, down at bottom.
What is going on here?
Throws out the flare, steals the CS, and wades back out. He's a pacifist. He's
that XP.
In all honesty, I don't know that there's a whole lot he could have done there anyway. But now that the Radiance is going to be up in a timely manner, at least by all accounts, and yeah, it definitely will be a Radiance build. He's 400 gold away from the relic.
Anti-Mage is stacked now. He has 7,000 gold. He's 500 ahead of the Lone Druid, and they were just neck and neck a few minutes before.
I just hope it comes out early enough. It's a race right now. Like, there's a handful more items. The levels and the composition favors IG so heavily that they're going to need a couple of big plays probably before Siler wants to come fight. He's just going to have to show up and land a couple of really nice Mana Voids or something.
Yeah, they also need initiation on Tinker. I think he should go Force-F this game. Force-F generally better versus Clockwork, especially one like ROTKs who does hit hook shots when he needs them. And here's a stun out coming on the top.
And Ferrari's actually going to eat it. Didn't go for it. Thought he would. And here comes...
they're going to have to go very, very soon.
Here we go. Big rotation coming in from behind. They're going to catch Siler out. Cleaned up with a laser. That's a high priority kill. In comes the boat, though. Can they clear? No. YYF caught. There's Chen's heal. YYF was caught by the Fiend's grip and lined up for the boat. Stun goes off on Fenrir, but Banana will end up dropping as well. And the hook onto the creeps. Faith was there.
Blink so timely from Faith.
Yep.
I guess even if he got hooked, but he hit the creeps instead.
Yep.
They got the anti-mage though. That's what matters. And Tinker died in the process, but it is way more important to keep down the anti-mage. And meanwhile, Banana is on bottom, so they took a 4-on-5 fight, and they pretty much traded slightly worse.
And this tower just going to be banged away. And, Super needs to be careful. This bear is not fooling around, man. He's got his relic up. He hits pretty hard at the moment. Looks like Hal not in any mood to put his best friend at risk. 5-4 following that engagement. As you mentioned, the kill on Siler, though, much more valuable than just the kill. Leveling off at about 2,000 gold in favor of in favor of IG. And the experience right in that range as well, around 2 or 3K. VG wants to change it, though. They're smoked moving through the Roche pit.
Yeah, they need to kill him before his Radiance. But, I mean, the damage has already been done. He has 240 gold, and those two heroes, I'm pretty sure, do not have enough damage, especially without grip. Maybe if Super rotates, but looks like How is going to... Oh, maybe he won't scout it out. He is trying to scout. See, look at their awareness right now. He's like, no, I'm not going to take that last neutral camp. I'm just going to chill at my tower. I'm going to chill behind my tower. Yep. Screw that.
A really cute maneuver by the tree there. I wish I could go back and draw it, but I think we're going to have a dive here in a minute.
Oh, they know. Yep. He needs a TP out. He doesn't actually have a TP. Uh-oh.
And he's just going to send the bear out. His best buddy trying to get things done. And meantime, Ferrari split pushing top along with Faith and Banana. So they better, it's pee or get off the pot time for VG. They're going to throw a hook and manage to catch him out. He's in the corner. Here comes the boat. This could be a very nice kill for them. And they will be able to drop it. In the meantime, IG has reacted. Do they have the damage? March of the Machines makes it very tough to fight. We're going to see FY trying to use Fiend's Grip, but should be cleaned up. Faith going to go toe-to-toe with him. There's the Fade Bolt. Earn charges go off on both sides, and we're going to see a double kill happen. In the meantime, the fight continues as Ferrari chasing down Fenrir and ROTK. He's just going to pop his wand charges to stay safe and try to pursue him out. Here's the stun, Unstable Concoction. He is eating a flak in the face from Battery Assault. And looks like they will go ahead and back off of that. So VG, with one of the first favorable trades they've had all game, going makes it 7-7 with a 3-for-2 exchange, and more importantly, bringing down the Druid before he finishes Radiance.
That's pretty much the exact same thing that happened for them up top. They just traded a couple heroes. They got the important hero, and meanwhile, the important hero farms. So now after that, Gold lead is in favor of Anti-Mage right now. He's a full 1,000 ahead of the Bear, but once he gets his Midas, once he uses Midas and gets the Radiance, that should be his Radiance, and we'll see who farms it out from there. But he already has a Vlad's too. This is going to be a very early Roshan from VG.
Siler moves on in. Let's see if they're able to spot it or maybe suss it out. The Radiance up on the Druid just like that. And this is where I think we're going to see him just group as 5. The mechanism is freshly complete on Ferrari as well.
Can Siler solo this? I don't know if he can.
It's getting iffy. They're going to move and take the tier 1. Now, they might decide to check the Roche pit, and tell you the truth, that rocket might be a bit of a giveaway. The direction from which it came, they've got to have it in their mind that maybe this is happening.
Super's helping them out.
It looks like they're fixated on the tower. And once again, the amount of AoE they have for these fights is just massive. Acid Spray, March of the Machines, Radiance Burn. But the Roche will be taken by Siler. He's going to blink immediately to the high ground. There's going to be a Nightmare onto Hal, and there's the hook going to catch Ferrari. He throws out the Unstable Concoction. Siler's locked down. Can they get him? Boat's there. Damage mitigation will be in play, and they're trying to chase him down. Fenrir threw out a Soul Assumption. Don't think it's going to matter. Radiance Burn doing huge damage to the poor Visage. There's a Fade Bolt from Rubik to seal the deal. They only got one as Siler does manage to run away. The Bear staying on Super. He's going to have to phase away. And not going to get in. Oh, he does get in range. That's going to be the end of Super. So Druid takes that kill as well.
That's without boots on the Bear, too.
Yep. Siler playing some very brave Dota right now. Deciding just to go ahead and go back to farm in the lane. Here comes the Chin. There's Faith. He telekinesed him. And not going to get the stomp on the Centaur. There's the laser. He's trying to run. Got an earned charge, but not enough immediate burst. And Ferrari unable to get into range. Nonetheless, big win for IG. They give up Roshan and they don't get the Aegis, but they take a tower and they take a couple of heroes and multi-4 staffs out right there. What the? There we go. I guess it just glitched for a minute. Oh, he bought a 4 staff, sold it, bought it again, sold it again, and decided to buy a mechanism instead.
He's like, what am I supposed to get here? I think Mech's the right choice, though, because IG is going to continue keeping out the pressure. So good item build coming up from ROTK. How needs to send his Bear back home to heal, unfortunately. So this push will be slowed down by a little bit. No Ancient stack for Siler, so at least they took that out. And YYF trying to defend middle, but Siler, I mean, he almost has his Yasha right now. He pretty much has his Yasha, and he's halfway to his Manta. So that scary anti-mage. Net worth for Anti-Mage and Lone Druid, almost exactly the same.
Faith gets a pick. There's a follow-up Unstable Concoction. Just look at him melt. They have so much damage, and really VG can't fight 4-on-5. They just don't have the ability to do so, no matter what initiation they have. They might seriously think about pushing a tier 3 here because they have yet to use mech. Everyone's in very good shape. And Bane down.
The Aegis.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, they should take the Aegis.
Well, I mean, honestly, they don't have the Aegis, but yeah, they could at least probably.
Oh, wait, yeah, they had Anti-Mage, never mind.
Right.
What am I talking about?
But Anti-Mage is right now so focused on farm. I'm really surprised they're actually pulling back here. But
it's risky, though. Like, they can just wait for a big item up on Tinker, and then they can just pick him off. So he's not your, biggest worry in the late game. He's annoying. For sure, and he is taking out their tower slowly, but he's only taking out one tower right now. He's pressured to T2 a little bit on top, but yeah, with the Alchemist Shadow Blade, with the 4 staff initiation from the Tinker too, when he gets a sheep, he's gonna have meta, but he's still gonna die.
The net worth going back and forth between AM and the Lone Druid, and that's problematic for a number of reasons, not the least of which is they have no reason to stop pushing. And we're going to have another catch on ROTK. Will they get a root? Not going to get it. And Mr. Schminger is going to stun it out. If they get the bear, they might be able to stymie this a little bit. There's an unstable concoction. FY trying to heal him up, and they manage to catch the bear. Bear will be resummoned. The boat's going to be there, and the hook off, or on the mark, I should say. They managed to pick off the chin, but he did get his heal off before Siler has to clear out. And IG looking to reinitiate this fight. Going to throw out the unstable concoction. Fenrir busted with it. The burn from nothing but the radiance would have been enough. And Bane trying to survive via the brain sap. ROTK actually just gives away his position. Will Cog and still suffering burn damage. YYF comes in right on the bear and ends up losing some mana. But there's the root onto FY. He's down. YYF going to be forced staff to safety. Barely out of the range. They do manage to get a triple kill with him. Siler lost his Aegis in that engagement. Almost got another root there. Just had a feeling that last shot would have been a root. Siler hanging around the edge, has his Yasha and his Battle Fury, but it's just not going to matter. At the end, another win.
He's been unlucky with roots.
Yeah, he actually has. He's getting roots like I do. One few and far between on anything but creeps.
Yeah, one root on anti-mage, and he is a goner, but he does manage to survive. 0-1-1 on him, but I mean, he's forced to participate, and that's the thing about IG. They are just putting so much pressure on him. Lone Druid is not dying. His bear is dying now and then, but Lone Druid himself is not dying. And meanwhile, anti-mage can't really farm with that fast. Net worth racing between Siler and How, measly 400 gold difference, so they're just neck and neck.
And Siler is going to have his ultimate orb up. He'll have a Manta up soon, but is it soon enough? They have no map control. They've only taken one tower the entire game. That was the tier 1 top. All others remain. And, you know, again, against...
Oh, here's a TP on top. They expect Siler to be there. And is he going to blink on YYF?
Oh, right on his face. Here comes the stun. They're looking for it. They're going to get it.
So hard.
Oh, gone. That's such a big kill because they get that one for free. It's not like they baited it. It's not like it took time. There was just a TPN and one little piece of rotation from Ferrari.
Siler gotta play more carefully.
Yep. There's a hook on to Banana here in mid. ROTK looking for a little payback. Here comes some help, though. And Force Staff is enough to get him away. Now they're going to end up probably killing ROTK, and they will. Fenrir wanted to come in to help, thought better of it, and thought wisely of it, I would say. So they feed two very important heroes in a matter of minutes, and IG continuing to build an advantage. And really, this is beginning to get to that point where basically when Siler's back up, they need him to come fight, and they need to win a fight flat out. They've been trading pretty even. They need like a 3-0 or a 4-1, something like that to happen. I just don't know that they have the damage.
And now Anti-Mage can't push out a lane by himself because he has to be scared constantly. Like, he has to be scared of Ferrari TPing in, or Ferrari just Shadow Blooding in, Unstable Concoction, and then just Tinker TPing in and blowing him up. And if you can't push your lanes, the split push is the Anti-Mage is one of the strongest part about the hero just disappears.
Tier 3 is going to drop for free. There's an X on to Hal, and Force Staff to safety dodges the boat. They're going to re-engage. Ferrari gets blown up, so a nice win there. Here's a hook coming in from ROTK. Manages to get Faith and Hal both, but he will be blown up. Not before they manage to knock down Face, so they come charging back out. Siler's going to go for it. Gets the Mana Void off and a nice kill onto the Tinker. And FY, can the Hellbear catch him? Banana knows he's in trouble. Here comes Tinker off of a buyback. He's going to come in to try to clean things up. He thought he would get a kill with the rockets, but he damn well will with the laser. And that looked like a good fight for VG for a while. The buyback forced out a Tinker, certainly a big deal in its own right. But they do lose the tier 3, and that gold graph, let's see. Yep, up to 5 digits, so another win. All things told for IG.
And again, Bear survives now. He has his AC. He is just a super farm right now. Midas, Radiance AC 25 minutes. That is just fantastic. And IG can just keep pushing pressure up. Like, look at their lanes. It's not pushed out at all because Anti-Mage just can't split push because his team's under so much pressure. The top lane right next to the T2, the middle lane right next to the T3, and bottom lane Tinker's already pushing out. So Anti-Mage is searching for farm in other places, but still unable to feel very safe like you want to feel. You want to feel like you can farm anywhere. Opponent's Ancients, your Ancients, like your neutrals, opponents neutrals, all 3 lanes, and he just cannot do that even when he sees 3+ heroes on the map.
And in the meantime, Hal has added an Assault Cuirass. And this is just, I mean, the armor reduction from Acid Spray plus Assault Cuirass is huge. They've got magic damage, they've got physical damage, they've even got pure damage from the Tinker. I mean, this is just as well balanced a draft in terms of not only how it functions as 5, but how it lines up against the enemy, as I've seen in quite some time. Like, I feel like, you know, VG's a good team, and they've hung in here really well, all things considered. But I think we're going to look back at this and just label this as a drafting loss, really.
Why anti-mage? Why?
And here we go, meching up, moving back in. They did enfeeble the bear, but even so, he's still hitting hard enough to be a problem. There's a nightmare onto him. They just don't really have a way to move in. Ferrari throws out the unstable concoction, catches ROTK. Here they come. They might try to make it happen. The Radiance burn is just, I mean, look at the March plus Radiance damage they're eating. Sylar, even with Vlad's, can't keep up with the damage output. And IG looks like they will go ahead and back. Roshan will be back up right about now.
Waiting for mana on Tinker.
Yep. Roshan's back up, too, if they wanted to fall back and try that. But Tinker ready for round number 2. Is there any hope VG defends this, Merlini?
Yeah, if like he hits a pretty sick cog and then into a torrent boat Kunkka Cleave combo, and they get Tinker early in the fight.
Up there's a hook. Got 2. Here we go. Boat's going to come in. Can they get him down? There's the hand of God blown right before he dies. In the meantime, Ferrari chopping away on Sylar. He's going to be telekinesis. Drop down. Got 2 with the stun. Got 3 with the stun. Check that. And now How, very low, going to try. He does drop. Ferrari right on ROTK's tail. There's a buyback coming out on 2 heroes. Make it maybe 3. Ferrari manages to chop down ROTK in the meantime. But they ended up having to buy back on 2. That was actually a 5-for-4 trade that ends up as a win for Vici. But, I mean, what choice did they have? There's no way they could afford to lose that mid-racks right now. At the very least, they extend the game and actually shut down the gold game.
They'll get a Roshan, too, though, from it. So it's
big play.
Pretty good defend.
I agree. This is probably
ROTK coming through with a hook shot.
This is probably the best. This is probably the best result they could have hoped for overall.
They have to just not clump, though. They were just way too on top of each other. Tinker should not be caught out. Chen should be separated from his creeps. Rubik should just be in the back because he can always steal Blink from Anti-Mage. And Lone Druid should be away from his bear, too. They got I think, 2 people plus the bear inside the cogs, and they followed that up with the amount of burst that Kunkka has is very problematic.
And Sylar beginning to feel a little bit more scary as more time goes on. The Lone Druid has picked up his casual cloak, the bear. Radiance Assault Cura still has that Midas. It's on cooldown, so I know that makes you cry, Merlini.
I know. It is so sad. It's so sad. Once they get Tinker, Sheep, though, they can just play a different game. They don't necessarily have to push. It was slightly ambitious doing that. They could have easily just waited for Roshan and then taken the Aegis and then went for it, but yeah.
But now the game's extended and Sylar has more time. Has an Aegis, and looks like they want to put it to use. They're not wanting to sit back, feeling a little bit.
You cannot push into March. That is just a terrible idea.
They're going to go for it. They've got Glyph.
Yeah, Sylar has mid. Oh, yeah, he's super farm. I thought he was less farm because he popped back. He has 2,400 gold on top of that.
Yep. Took an Aegis.
They're going to have defense soon, though. They cannot just lose their racks for a T2. That's a bad trade. As IG could actually push out, we see Ferrari flirting around that area.
Smoke out of VG ROTK leading the charge. Who are they going to find in mid? That's going to be Banana as a target. Not the worst target, not the best. Let's see if they can track him down. And looks like,
He's so dead.
He gets
Spend your
picked
gold
down
quickly.
I don't know. He's hooking up with Faith. And
wow. That was like they had a ward there, too. That's like a freebie.
There's going to be X on the Faith. Looks like Banana. Yep, trying to. No. Oh, wow. He actually survives. There's a hook across the way onto Banana. Ferrari's right there behind him. They're all clumped up. They're going to get a 2-man stun. Do they want to engage or retreat? Looks like they want to retreat. And Hal's actually going to be caught out. He's caught with the Grape Chill and with the Fiend's Grip. Here comes the boat right on top of him. Nice Force Staff from Faith. Manages to get him away from harm's way. Ferrari not likely to be as lucky. Just an absolute throwdown here. ROTK got rooted and will die because of it. Here comes Tinker back in and ready to make it happen. Buyback from the clock. And IG somehow managed to turn this around. YYF actually just found a kill on Kunkka as well. TP will be successful there. They're going to catch ROTK in the shadow of his own tier 2. Down he goes. I'm a little shocked. That should have been, as you said, at least 1, if not 2 easy kills off of that smoke for Vici. Instead, they lose 3 and a tier 2.
Yeah, Tinker's mobility, though, is just way too much for them. Being able to keep up, stay up for that long and just constantly spare your March and Rocket, he probably just does so much damage. It's not like in the middle of a team fight, you're like, oh my god, March does so much damage, but I have seen that spell just absolutely wreck team fights, and fighting in like 2 or 3 of them, it was a very stationary fight for the most part. It's just going to lose you to fight, and especially after Ghost shit runs out.
Ferrari leading the way. They're going to work on the racks. They don't have a glyph. They're close to one, so unfortunately going to be a minute or two too late. 12 seconds on clock, 20 on Kunkka, and they are stunned out by the Visage Familiars, playing this safe, but here comes the bear. This Rax will be dropping very soon. And down it goes. Gonna make the game much more difficult for Siler to find his late game farm, having one lane completely neutered. And look at the creep wave at top. They're gonna go for the tier 3 here. Kunkka's back up in 2 seconds, though. We'll see how committed to it they are. It doesn't look like they're very committed to it at all.
Yeah, I mean, AT Mage still has the mages, so they have to be scared of that. They had a slight window when he was healing, and not all the heroes were up, so... Yeah, I think it's a wise decision from Icy. We saw what happened when they overextended him in the last time.
Siler, going to get back to work. He's picked up an Ogre Club, so one would imagine he's on his way to a BKB. Not too bad of a call here. We'll mitigate at least some of the damage coming off of that mass AoE combination of IG. They'll be able to deal with the radiant damage a little bit better. Half of the damage from Tinker's March will be dealt with, so not too shabby. 26 to 17. Let's take a look at the gold graph. Up to 12,000 now. Biggest lead of the game for IG.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, they need more items on anti-mage. It looks like he just bought a big item. What is it?
BKB.
Oh, okay.
Finished it out, and I mean, at this point, let's put you in the captain's chair, Merlini. I like putting you there as often as I can. You're Vici's gaming captain. Give me 2 or 3 sentences. What's the game plan?
Smoke King Tinker, take him out of the fight, and then push towers. Like, if he's up, just the mass amount of sheeps and damage that he pushed out is just way too much. So if anyone split pushes, most likely it's going to be Tinker. Just try and pick him off with Clockwork and with Smokes. He has a 4-staff, so actually, no 4-staff on Clock, so they're going to need to devote quite a few people there. But if they just smoke under a creep with Bane, they should be able to take him down. But I think he's actually the most important hero. Lone Druid, I mean, you're going to be able to, like, kill him, but it's just going to be extremely difficult. Tinker is a little bit more predictable with his movement, and they're most likely going to protect Hal a little bit better.
There's a smoke out of IG wanting to take the fight to VG, and for it, the Heaven's Halberd, freshly finished on Ferrari. They have so many ways now to just deal with that anti-mage. And they're going to move through right past the Roche Pit on up into the Dire side secret shop. Oh, they could end up getting right on their side. If they come out right on their hip, this could be disastrous. FY's depth, they are going to move a little further forward, so they are going to have to go through. Do they have a sentry here? They don't. They have the ward, but no sentry to see what's coming. Here comes Hal. They might get him the double back, showing Hal. They're going to try to go after this tier 1 mid. And let's see what they want to do. Just hanging back for the moment.
Yeah, IG looking to retreat, and I think they could pressure the T3 if they wanted to, since the T1 is falling anyways.
And they're going to go after Siler, look to get a root, but he will blink before the first hits there. There's ROTK coming in. Siler's going to pop the BKB and start to go to work. There's the Hand of God. Tord does connect and can't hear if the boat's coming. There it is. Siler in some trouble. He mantas away. BKB will be wearing off soon. VG on the run. They got Shen and no one else. Siler caught out, sheep netted, and dropped. ROTK being pursued by the Hellbear Smasher. In the meantime, Faith going to go after him. The rest of IG chasing down the remaining supports. There's going to be the death of Bane to go along with the Animage. Animage down for 96 seconds. Does he have buyback? He does. So he's going to have to spend what little farm he has if he wants to be able to hold the line.
Siler just played that so wrong right there. He got rooted during BKB. Usually you just manta out and keep fighting away. He didn't manta out of it. He used manta later, and it was definitely up. I checked his cooldown, and then after that, he wasn't paying attention to his Aegis timer either. If he doesn't pop his BKB, he respawns, and then he has all his cooldowns up after that. But
up here we go. Dual ships. 2 ships passing in the night. Hal was Fiend's Grip, but he's mech'd through it. Here comes Tinker back in, lands in, gets off the Hex onto Siler once again. He drops. It's GG. It will be GG. He's down for 110 seconds. There it is. So Vici, and what we thought was going to be a much more competitive series instead falls 0-2. And we now have a much better and clearer idea of how the playoffs are going to shape up. IG.
Why, anti-mage? Why?
IG, with that win, secures themselves second place here in the D2L Eastern Division and puts themselves in a great position to try and make a run through our bubble playoff format. And Yeah, I think it was just a draft loss. I mean, really, the VG didn't play bad. We saw some mistakes here and there, but for the most part, they got
to play phenomenally to win.
Exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you just look at the way the drafts match up, and it worked out about how we predicted it would be. I mean, the Lone Druid win Radiance, Tinker had March, Alchemist had Acid Spray, and they have Sustain because they have a mech and they have a Chen for Hand of God. Like, how with this lineup do you begin to match up with that?
Yeah, you draft better.
Oh, Merlini shots fired. Anyway, 31-18. The final kill score, 35-47. The final game time, and we can put a cherry on it, my friend. A 4 best-of-3 day here on the HyperX D2L draws to a close. Once again, LGD China direct qualifies to our grand finals in Vegas in January. IG will finish in the overall standings, having taken only one loss, and that singular loss coming at the hands of the perfect LGD. So they're going to be at the top of the food chain when it comes to the bubble race. I'm your host there in AC Chambers. Thanks so much for being here, guys. It's been a really fun day for us, Merlini, and obviously Alliance Na'Vi earlier today was the big draw. But I really enjoyed our matches today. EG versus Mouse was in particular a lot of fun. And these two games, IG versus VG and DK versus LGD, it's nice to get back to some Asian Dota. Wouldn't you agree?
It's getting spiced up, and even though there's like anti-mage and stuff, we still have like 50 kills in 35 minutes. Still pretty exciting game, and I like how teams are starting to like bring fights a lot earlier and just not picking up Midas. It's exciting.
Yep, very much agreed. And I was griping about that. It makes me so happy. The mass Midas metagame has begun to disappear. But anyway, guys, just as a quick recap again, LGD finishes perfect. Did not drop a single series in our entire Eastern Division. Our next to last day would be, or our last day, I should say. This is our next to last day. Tomorrow will be our last day of Eastern play, though we have a whole other week of Western play ahead. But yeah, we're going to see Vici back in action tomorrow. There's still something riding on that. I have to look at the points and stuff. I don't know right offhand. But they may have a chance to leapfrog DK in the third position, so that's still going to be a very important play day for them at the very least. The way the bubble bubble race playoff format works, just to explain for those who are wondering, is we have our first place finishers. In this case, it was LGD China. They don't have to go through it. They're direct qualified. They punch their ticket to Las Vegas. They're going to be there. After that, second, third, fourth, and fifth place in the standings, which is going to be, as of right now anyway, will be some mix of Invictus, Vici, LGD, and DK. No matter what, those 4 teams are in at this point. Whoever finishes in 5th place will play against 4th place in our first match. Then the winner of that will meet the 3rd place finisher. And then the winner of that will meet the 2nd place finisher. And whoever wins that final match will join LGD China at the grand finals in Las Vegas. So the seeding does matter a lot. It's one entire series you don't have to play, whereas the team that comes in 5th, and right now it will be Tongfu guaranteed. If Tongfu, for example, wants to qualify their way in, they have to win 2 best of 3s and 1 best of 5. To get themselves there in against this field across 2 days. So the playoffs will be coming up in December. I think they're slated for December 6th as of right now. So the D2L Eastern Division basically set, at least in terms of teams, still have the seeding to jockey for. But congratulations to LGD China and, of course, to Invictus Gaming for locking down 2nd place as well. Before I do the sign-offs here, Merlini, any final thoughts on the matches of the day? And, of course, want you to plug the deets as to where our fine viewers can find you on the web.
We had exciting matchups today, but tomorrow should be even more exciting. We have the ever-so-famous Alliance Na'Vi matchup. And you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/MerliniDota, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, all the same handle, /MerliniDota. Thanks, guys. It was a pleasure, as always, casting with you, Ace. We had some fantastic games today, although some of them were more one-sided than I like.
Yeah, you'll have that sometimes. It was a pleasure casting with you as well, Ben. You enjoy your night. You can also find me, by the way, on Addy. See? You can also find me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/ACTV. Links to all my social media can be found there. You can just look it up on Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Just look for ACTV. You should be able to find me. But as Merlini mentioned, the Mac Daddy is coming up tomorrow. Now, things are a little more wrinkled in the West than I think most of us expected it to be heading into the Na'Vi Alliance group stage matchup. Na'Vi took a loss. This is going to be their last series. So if they win, they're perfect. They're going straight to Vegas. And the rest of everything else will be shaken out next week, looking ahead. So very big match tomorrow with a lot of big implications. And certainly if Alliance is beaten by Na'Vi, and Na'Vi did beat Alliance in the best of 5 earlier today. Sorry, I guess. But so it's not like that's not going to be a very close match, and it could really throw a tangle into the way that most people predict our Western Division to finish. That'll be back. I'm pretty sure that's our second matchup tomorrow, so that'll be at noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Real Central Europe, and Chinese viewers if you guys happen to be watching, which I guess you would be. Currently our Asian or East standings. Anyway, you can catch that at, I want to say, like midnight your time. But we're back in action tomorrow, 9 a.m. We'll see you then. Take care, enjoy your evening, and enjoy some Dota.